Welcome back to the Systems, Philosophy, and Mental Models course. My name is Nate Rose with AI for Indies, and today's lesson is on why systems are not about organization, they're actually about freedom. Let's get into it. A lot of people have a strong reaction to the word system. They picture spreadsheets with color-coded tabs, Notion dashboards with 30 linked databases, productivity influencers with 5 monitor setups narrating their morning routine. It feels like infrastructure built for someone who has more to manage, more to optimize, more to organize than you do. And so before they've even started, most people have already decided that systems are basically for other people. I'm here to tell you that that image is wrong and it is costing you. A system is any repeatable structure that removes the decision or reduces friction from something that keeps happening. That's it. There's no real complexity required, no technology required even, though I will say technology usually shows up as the practical layer. Now, if you've ever developed a rule for something, a personal policy about when you respond to messages, a habit of reviewing your calendar the night before, a way you've always organized your downloads folder, you already have systems. You just never called them that, and you never built them on purpose. The difference between an accidental system and an intentional one isn't sophistication, it's really awareness. Take a journal, for example. When you have an idea or an insight worth keeping, you might write it down. That process, which is recognizing a thought is worth keeping, then moving it into a physical medium, is a system. There's a process, something that happens in your head, you recognize its value, you capture it, there's a technology, a pen and a notebook, and the system produces a result. The thought now exists outside of your head and you don't have to spend energy holding it in there anymore. The journal doesn't just store information, it removes the recurring decision of whether to keep holding on to something in working memory. That is the actual value. Now I want you to extend it. What do you do with what you write in the journal? Maybe you periodically pull those raw insights into a conversation with an LLM and expand them into longer pieces. Maybe you take the rough ideas into a whiteboard session before they develop into something you can share. Each of these is a system layered on top of the first. And together, from raw insight to captured note to expanded thought to finished piece, that forms a parent system. Now you can call it the idea pipeline, not just a journal, not the writing session, the whole arc from inception to artifact. That progression is how every mature system works. You start with one simple intentional process, and then the ones that connect to it start becoming visible. The reason that most people feel chaotic isn't that they have no systems, it's that all their systems were built accidentally. The way you manage your inbox isn't the result of a decision, typically. It's the result of years of default behavior slowly calcifying into habit. Same for your file naming, your note-taking, your project tracking. You do these things a certain way because that's the way that they happened, not because you actively chose it. The problem with accidental systems is that they're optimized for nothing. They weren't built to serve a goal, they just emerged. And because they emerged, they carry all the friction and inefficiency of whatever context they formed in. And none of it gets questioned or revised because it's never been named as something that could be changed. Naming something as a system is the first act of ownership. Once you call it a system, you can evaluate it. You can ask, is this working? What is it costing me? What would a better version look like? Those questions are not available when the thing is just a vague habit you've never examined. Here's the reframe that's going to carry through the rest of this module. The goal of a system is not organization, it's decision removal. Every decision that you make pulls from the same finite budget. The big creative decisions, the strategic choices, the small operational noise, every email you process, every file you have to hunt for, every repeated choice you make about how to handle the same recurring situation. Each one costs something from that decision budget. And that budget is the same one that you spend on the work that really matters. A system doesn't organize your life, it buys back cognitive currency you've been spending on decisions that didn't need to be made. That is not a productivity story, it's a freedom story. And it's why building intentional systems, starting with the simplest ones, from wherever you are right now, that's the most high leverage thing that independent creators aren't doing. Thank you for tuning in. Next lesson, we're going to be talking about mental bandwidth and decision fatigue, what the cost of chaos is actually doing to you on a daily basis. And if you want to hear me talk about more things, you can head over to our AI for Indies Skool community where you can get additional lessons, one-on-ones with me, book a mentorship program, like whatever you'd like to do. Come over, hang out, let's chop it up. Peace.